Hi, I'm here today to talk to you about the tactical fly lines from Scierra. This is a program of shooting heads covering all possible situations that you can experience from single-handed to double-handed fly rods. The program is made by analyzing the different fishing techniques throughout Europe and trying to compile all of these into a common program that could be helpful for nymph fishing, for sea trout fishing, and especially for salmon fishing, where the shooting heads is a really big part of the fishing today, with the casting styles that we're using, especially in Scandinavia. The lines are all made on a low stretch core. They have a unique PVC-free coating. That means that they really have a long lifetime, and they still keep the suppleness and the smoothness that will help you to get a good casting. The tactical fly lines is built up from having slightly short shooting heads. This means that we on the single-handed rods goes from 9 meters to 9.5 meters depending on the classification of the line and the sinking density of the line. The double-handed line, they are all coming from a class 6-7 using for the switch rods and up to a class 10-11 for the more heavy-duty salmon rods. The salmon line program comes in the casting. The length of the heads is from a 9.2 meters up to a 10.1 meters, also depending on the density and the classification of the line. All of the lines in this program are pre-mounted with a coated loop that makes sure that your loop will last for a longer time and that make an easy transition between your shooting line or your running line, as we call it, into your shooting head, and the same from your shooting head and into using your pulley leader. All of the lines in this program also have a unique color coding system. That means it's easy to pick it out and make sure that you have the right line for the right rod. The tactical fly lines also follow the AFTM system. That means that you have a certain way to match up with the classification on the rod. So you need to make sure that the line weight on your shooting head is connected to your rod. For all the Scierra rod program, we have indicated on the rod what line weight to use on this rod, so it's very easy to connect them together. The different lines in the Scierra program also comes in different sinking densities. That means that you will have a pure floater, you will have a floating and has a sink 1 as an intermediate part. You will have a slightly sinking line that goes from sink 2 to sink 3, and you will have a quick sinking line, a fast sinking line that goes from 5 to 7. That is very easily indicated on the lines when you look at them. First, I would just like to show you the loops that we have on our shooting heads here. So you need to see that the color code is the one that you have on the more thicker part of the line. And then you have the black part that goes to be connected with your pulley leader. This one is the floating line. As you can see, very clearly marked the length of the line and the weight of the shooting head. The floating part is purely amber. The next one we have is the line where you go from a floating into a 0-1. Here you will see that it goes from the amber to a more darker brown color. And also it's very clearly to see the difference between the two if you take out the two loops. Again, the color code that goes connected to your running line, and then the black loops that goes connected to your pulley leader. The next one in the line is the sink 2-3. Here you have a faster sinking density, and again you will see a dark part and a more light part on the line. That means, of course, still you have the two different sinking densities that will make your line align better into the water. As the last one, you see we have the sinking 5 to 7, and again here we use the darker colors to indicate that you have a faster sinking density. When you're using the tactical fly lines, of course you need to attach them to a running line, and today in the market there's a few different options for that. There's the classical running line or level line that has exactly the same diameter throughout the line. The lines from Scierra, you have two different versions. These lines, of course, also are pre-looped, so you can easily connect your shooting head to the line. The part that you need to connect to your backing, you need to attach with a needle nut. In the program from Scierra, we have also developed the highly strong Kevlar running line. We have made this one to give you the very thin experience of the running line and still having the strong connection to your fly line. The Kevlar running line is a loop with a very nice and tight loop, and as you can see, there is actually no memory at all in the line. That means there's no tangle when you're in the water. It gives you a really nice and smooth casting experience. The next running line that we have in the program from Scierra is the mono running line. This is a very unique line that are very often used from the coastal and for the lighter salmon fishing. This mono line is oval, so it gives you a really good shooting ability. It's still floating, so you will not have it go into the water when you're pulling back your loops. And as a special feature on this one, it's color coded. So that means that you have a 50-meter shooting line that gives you, for every 10 meters you get a new color. That means you can be very precise in your presentation of the fly, and you can make sure you reach the same distance every time. This shooting line also comes pre-looped as a quite unique part for monolines in the market. As you can see, a very nice and small loop that really gives you a good connection to your shooting head and gives you no disturbance in the eyes. Now we talk from the shooting heads and the shooting line. To connect from the shooting head and into your leader, you would very often like to use a pulley leader. The pulley leaders from Scierra, they also come pre-looped in the end that you need to connect to your shooting head. And then it has a part of nylon sticking out in the part where you need to attach your piece of leader. And here you need to use a blood knot or the surgeon knot to connect it, to have a nice and smooth transfer from the pulley leader to the leader. The pulley leaders in the Scierra program comes from a trout grayling to a sea trout version and a salmon version. All of them, of course, has the same system where you can see that they change color when you have an intermediate, a slow sink and a fast sinking pulley leader. So it's very easy to see when you carry it around in your leader wallet.